Just on everyone, welcome to the call. The purpose for the call is 10 and 16 goals. So we'll go ahead and start off with Jainad and Prasan. Jopaben.
Shri Samrat Bhagwan Nijay, Akshar Purushottam Maharaj Nijay, Gunatitanand Swami Maharaj Nijay, Bhagat Ji Maharaj Nijay, Sastri Ji Maharaj Nijay, Yogi Ji Maharaj Nijay, Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj Nijay. In 1967, there was a mandir in Kantaria and it was almost ready. Many devotees from the village went to Gondal to meet Yogi Ji Maharaj to discuss the plans of the inauguration. Yogi Ji Maharaj told the Hari Bhaktas to take Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Sant Swami with them. And 3 days before the Murti Pratishtha, a Parayan was organized, and Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Sant Swami, they both did a katha twice a day. And once, after giving his morning Ashirvad, Swami went into the kitchen and he noticed that Devcharan Swami was making puris all by himself. He immediately started putting them into the frying pan one by one without asking for anybody else's help. And the very next day, the same Pramukh Swami Maharaj did the Murti Pratishtha of the Kantara Mandir. And this prasang shows that no seva is too small for us, and that Swami has spent his entire life living through example. And that we should totally follow his footsteps and strive to become just like him. Shri Samran Bhagwan Nijay.
Thank you, Jopaben, for that wonderful prasang. Moving on, first we would like to start off with an introduction by Karishma Ben. And Avni Ben, if you're on.
Yes.
Avni Ben?
Yes, Shri Samran Bhagwan Nijay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, one moment. Okay. All right. So with today's call, we're starting with the introduction, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So over the past year, we've been able. Is anyone else here echoing? Okay, that stopped. So over the past year, we've been learning about Shanti since Jacksonville. Since Karkon in Jacksonville, and the fact that what we needed was to equip ourselves with our own journey towards Shanti, with the 5 prasangs that were brought up of Swami's life, and the experiences and how we can connect his experiences to our lives. Well, now we've used those same 5 prasangs in Sabha, in Balika Sabha, in IBST, in the summer Shibir, as well as Adivation. So now as we step back and see what we have done this year, we also, through this call, will see what lies ahead. Now, this call really is to ensure that we can all get together as a team and make sure every person is on board. In regards to our Balika Mandal, oftentimes we find every mandal is doing its own thing, having maybe some of their own goals, or not really sure where to set our focus. So this is something many mandals face, and to avoid that stagnation that we talked about in Karkan, this 10 and 16 really requires us to look back. That antardrishti that was talked about during Karkan, to remind us to pause, reflect on what we've accomplished in 2015, what we've done in this past year, but also what lies ahead in our 10 and 16 goals. As we look at the year ahead, with all of the projects, they look exciting. Exciting for our balikas, exciting for our mandal, ready to see that growth. Oftentimes we're ready to jump in. But this is yet another chance for us to please Swami Shri through our seva. Tonight, as we dive in and gain a deeper understanding into the 10 and 16 goals, take notes and have questions. Have questions for us, have questions for the RCs, your PC leads, and let's get all on the same page as we jump into 2016. We'll start with looking at some of the first goals with our IBST, which Truptiben.
Just hi everyone. So our first two goals for our 10 and 16 are related to IBST, and the first goal would be having one-on-one meetings. And these meetings are mostly going to be with each of the balikas that are part of IBST, along with either the BST lead, the main Sanjalika, the Konsanjalika, or the PC. And it's to kind of get an insight and kind of help the balikas on some level of mentoring to make sure that they're ready for their next phase as they're entering high school soon, like in a year or two. So these conversations are mostly going to be about like their niyam dharma, about their education, what they want to pursue over basically overall involvement, improvement, how BST kind of helped them in their personal level as well as their academical level. And just kind of get them to open up a little and build that connection with each of the main balikas. And our second goal is going to be niyam assessment. So these are going to be conducted throughout the year. So the first one will be before BSc starts, or soon, since BSc in some centers has already started. And they're going to progress how the balikas are keeping up with their niyams throughout the year and making sure that they're increasing it and staying connected with Swami. And so the goal is that each of the balikas increases at least 75% of their overall like niyam score, which will be based on the different niyams taken throughout the year.
Thank you, Truptiben, for the IBST update. Next, we have Gujarati class update. Grishmaben.
Hinaben, are you on the call? All right, she may not be on the call, but so this year for Gujarati class, the main focus is improving the quality of Gujarati class. I mean, we can see that 100% of our A and B centers are following the given syllabus right now and the midterm exam. However, you know, it's not each center is, you know, making use of the syllabus. They're not all using it. It kind of varies from center to center. So this year we're going to try to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So we're going to provide a revamped syllabus starting spring of 2016. And it's basically going to have the same consistent content for levels 1 through 6. And this is going to be made accessible, you know, via the Gujarati Coordinator portal. Hinaben, did you want to add anything?
Along with that, we're going to discuss Karikar Goshti as well. Grishmaben?
Yes. So this year's main focus for Karikar Goshti is we're going to be focusing on Type C centers and ensuring that all Karikars attend these Goshtis. You guys have probably noticed that this has been a goal of ours for quite some time. A lot of our centers are meeting this goal. A lot of our centers, our new and up-and-coming centers, aren't meeting this goal. And the solution that we've kind of come up with is that we will pair an RC with an RCT member to conduct this conference call Goshti. So making sure that everybody kind of comes together for this Goshti and it happens. You'll get a distribution of this with a schedule when we all meet at RAM. And the goal here is that everybody attends 80% of these Goshtis, so at least 10 out of 12. And keep in mind that they can be combined, IBK, or they can be separate. If they are separate, we still want to make sure that 80% of the attendance is being matched.
Okay. Perfect. With that said, moving on to Sabah, Ruben.
Okay, sorry everyone. So next year, or 2016, there are two goals that's going to be incorporated into our Sabah. The first one's going to be addition of Mukbang into our syllabus. So this year when Balikas took their Beginners Challenge and Mastermind Challenge, the passing rate overall nationally was 67%. And those exams consisted of our basic system knowledge. So looking at the passing rate, our focus for next year is that we want to instill basic system foundation in each of our Balikas. And the way we're going to do, one of the ways we were going to do it is to incorporate Mukbang into our syllabus. So they'll take the quizzes, and our goal is that all the Balikas have a passing rate of 75% on those quizzes. Now those quizzes could be similar or exact same thing as they were given during Adivation, but Mukbang will be incorporated into our syllabus. And second goal that's going to be incorporated into our Sabah is connecting back to Swamistry. Now, majority of us on the call is probably had a lot of opportunities to see Bapa in person, right? Be it at Shibir or at local mandal when Bapa did the visits, or in India or wherever. But with our Balikas, with Bapa's health right now, this generation is not gonna have the same opportunity. So to keep that connection with Swamistry, to keep that Jodan with Swamistry, and keep it alive for this Balikas, we're gonna incorporate connecting back to Swamistry, where we're gonna conclude our Sabahs, each Sabah every Sunday with doing a smoothie of Swamistry, either through a video or a photo or saying a story. So this way we learn that when Balikas have a visual, they're able to recall all those moments. So by doing that, we're gonna connect back to our summer Shibir, which was finding Santi through Smruti. So Balikas can take back the Smruti of Swamistry at the end of the Sabah, and that's something that they can think about after Sabah, and then have them encourage them to watch videos of Swamistry so they can share that and remember that and share it with their parents. So those two goals will be incorporated in our Sabah just to increase personal satsang in Balikas.
Thank you, Ruben. So the next topic we're going to talk about is satsang exams. So our satsang exam sitting rate is 90% as of now. For the past 3 years, we have had 80 to 83% registration rate and a pass rate of 91%, which is really, really good. But our main focus again this year is kind of focusing on Balikas that are not regular that come to Mandir and trying to see if they want to sign up for satsang exam and see if they would like to sit in satsang exam. So if you guys noticed, a few weeks back, like 2 or 3 weeks back, all MS should received an email, and on there it kind of had like the age range and which exam they should be taking, because there were some questions where, like, if they're in 8th grade, do they still have to take, like, satsang vihar 1 and 2, which it says on there, like, they do have to pass them to move on. But then again, do they have to start from bal 1 or bal 2, which they do not. They can start from satsang vihar 1, but all the details were written on in that document. So if there are any mains and chalikas that did not receive that or have any questions regarding which exam Balikas can take, you can always reach out to your RCs or send out an email or refer back to that document. And if there are any main Sanchalikas that did not receive that document, please let us know, like in the group me, or email us, and we can send that document to you. So, like, Swami Shri Rajipo has been in satsang exam for the longest time. We've heard many prasangs and many different things. So our goal is like that 91% that we have for Balikas, that's our passing rate. With the 80% sitting rate, we want to kind of, get that to move up and eventually get it to 100. So that is our goal for satsang exams for this year. Moving on to Parent Sanchalika meetings, Hidalben.
Jisamra everyone. So in 2016, we would like to ensure that each Balika's parent should attend the Parent Sanchalika meeting, and they should not just take it lightly, because sometimes they don't know what is mandir offering them for their Balikas. And additionally, a parent coordinator can focus on the parents who are not as active through these meetings. And by focusing on this non-active parents, we can make sure the Balikas grow spiritually, socially, and educationally. And the goal for 2016 is making sure that at least 70% of the Balikas' parents attend these meetings.
Thank you, Hidalben. Moving on to networking, Agniben.
So if we recall, networking during Karkan was one of the main points that was covered in the stagnation session. For us to be able to focus on individual Balikas as a means for better sampark. So in our Type A centers, at least 10 Balikas for the year that we want to focus on. In Type B, at least 5, and in Type C centers, at least 3 Balikas for the year. For the Mandal, if we select specific Balikas to focus on for this networking, throughout the year we want to ensure that we touch base with them for various events, Mandir events, of course, but having them not only come for these events, but for them to be there for the entirety of that event. And hopefully in regards to within our Balika Mandal, not just with the main Sanchalika, but with also the parent coordinator and even their specific group Sanchalika, we make it an effort to reach out to each one of these Balikas on a personal level, to where the goal also as the PC component, where the parents are involved in these events as well. So by getting this goal of these minimum number of Balikas, the metric that we're looking at is to have at least 5 face-to-face interactions depending on your center. And same with the parents. Having 5 face-to-face interactions, like we've talked about so far with the satsang exams, as well as the Gujarati classes and Parent Sanchalak workshops. Those are just some of the opportunities in which we can get these face-to-face opportunities. But this networking component is where we can really help boost our mandal in terms of attendance as well as long-term retention.
Thank you, Agniben. The last part that we are going to talk about is cultural change. Aksharaben?
Yes, Aaron. So this year we're going to be implementing a more different culture change as part of our 10 and 16 goals. Every time that we host a conference call, we'll be doing a goshti at the beginning of each call. And these goshtis will be on prasangs taken from Eternal Virtues or the Jane Guneri Jagirdhari book. Every time we have a call, we'll go through one gun from the book, and some of you may be asked to lead the goshtis as well. But the first one will be done by Garishma Ben, so we all get a like, and so we know how to moderate them. By doing these goshtis, we can do abhyas of Swami Shri's life and in the end imbibe the qualities of swamishri as well. So we look forward to doing these quiz.
So, like we mentioned before, if there are any questions or anything related, the document was attached in the email that was sent out to all of you earlier with the link. All the summaries and everything are in there. But if you do have any questions, please do reach out to your RCs. You can reach out to any of us at any time, text us or email or anything. So if there are any questions right now, though, any specific questions from what we talked about, you can post them on the group me, and we can answer them while we still are online. So we can take about a minute. So if anybody does have a question, you can go ahead and just post it on our group me, and we can answer them. And if there aren't any after, then we can go ahead and any do arise, we can answer them later as they arrive. So we'll just wait for a minute and see if anybody has any questions, and you can post them on the group me. And also, can you just respond on the group me if you do not have any questions either, so we can kind of just know if anybody does.
Gino, we also want to mention that everyone should have gotten an invitation to RAM.
Yes.
It's in Perry from November 20th to the 22nd. We need everyone to please reply to that as soon as possible. So if everybody could take a minute and just check your emails, check your spam, promotions. A lot of people are reporting that it's going into their promotions folder, so check that. Make sure that you do register. It's in Perry. Again, November 20th to 22nd. If somebody did not get an invitation, please reach out to myself, Gino Ben, your RC.
The invitation did go out to all main Sanchalikas, cone Sanchalikas, and PCs. So please just double check, like Rishma mentioned, if you do have a Yahoo account, to be specific, it most likely did go to your spam. So please check in there. And like she mentioned, it most likely went under your promotions tab if you have a Gmail. So if everybody could just, if you are not attending also, if you're not attending RAM, please also register and just mention that you are not attending, so we kind of have a feel of how many people will be attending. So please do go ahead and register if you are or if you're not. And if you did not receive the email for whatever reason, please do let us know within a day or two so we can get that to you. Well, with that said, if there are no questions, please do feel free to reach out to us if there are any. We will end this call. Jolbaben, thank you for getting on the call, everyone.
Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan, Nijay Akshar Purushottam Maharaj, Nijay Gunatitanand Swami Maharaj, Nijay Bhagat Ji Maharaj, Nijay Sastri Ji Maharaj, Nijay Yogi Ji Maharaj, Nijay Kurai Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Nijay Akshardham Mahotsav, Nijay Gunatito Gurun Prapya Brahma Rupam Nijatmana Vibhavita Sabhavena Swami Narayanam Bhaja Shri Harim Saksharam Sarvadeveshwaram Bhaktivedantmatmajam Divya Rupam Param Shantidam Muktidam Kamadam Kam Shri Swami Narayanam Nilakantham Bhaja Shri Harim Shri Swami Bhagavan Jai.
Just a minute, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.